Update: what's up with the COVID pills? A panel of the Food and Drug Administration's outside advisors is scheduled to meet on November 30th to weigh a potential emergency use authorization for molnupiravir, an antiviral drug developed by Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics that recently won authorization in the United Kingdom. Merck says its drug have the risk that adult COVID-19 patients with underlying health conditions ended up in the hospital or died from the disease. While Merck's pill could be the first authorized for Americans this year, other drug makers are also pursuing experimental antiviral pills for COVID-19. Pfizer is touting an 89% reduction in the risk of hospitalization or death when its drug was given to high-risk patients within 3 days of their COVID-19 symptoms. The FDA says it will decide on whether to grant emergency use authorization for Merck's molnupiravir after a meeting of its Antimicrobial Drugs Advisory Committee at the end of November. The agency said it scheduled its meeting as soon as possible following Merck's submission in October, and is preparing as soon as possible with the committee. It is unclear if the FDA will also convene a meeting of the advisors before deciding whether to authorize Pfizer's drug. Merck says adverse events in its study were comparable between those who received the antiviral drug versus a placebo. The company also said its studies of the drug in the lab and given to animals at longer and higher doses turned up no concerns of mutagenesis or genotoxicity, meaning it does not appear that the drug would damage the DNA of patients. Both Merck's and Pfizer's antiviral drugs are swallowed in capsules for 5 days starting soon after higher-risk patients test positive for the virus. Both drugs are designed to reduce the risk of severe disease in the early days after infection, but they work in different ways. Based on a drug first developed at Emory University to combat the flu, Merck's molnupiravir aims to hijack the system by which SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, makes copies of itself using the body's cells. By contrast, Pfizer says its pill aims to defeat the spread of the virus in the body by deploying a new compound that can bind to an enzyme of the virus, blocking it from replicating inside infected cells. While early results announced from Pfizer's and Merck's studies have focused on treating high-risk patients after they are infected with COVID, both companies are also trialing use of the pills to potentially prevent symptomatic disease in people after being exposed to someone else who is sick with the virus. Federal health officials say they plan to control allocations of Merck's drug, with healthcare providers able to order doses within caps set for each state. The Biden administration is currently mulling whether to end a similar rationing system set up to manage supplies of monoclonal antibodies, another type of drug that's been in high demand to treat and prevent COVID-19. Demand is expected to be even higher for the antiviral pills, especially if another wave of the virus surges this winter. Please like and give a thumbs up.